to our high school preview. This week we do not have Dr. D. Eric Sparks. He is on a hunting trip somewhere up north, Iowa or somewhere like that. Yeah. But we have two very special guests that are doing a lot for the community where these guys are from. We've caught on to them on social media, started following them, and they're doing a lot of good things, a lot of positive vibes for a lot of kids in their area and kind of over into the area where we are. So we definitely want to bring those two guys Josh, sorry. Okay. But anyways, those two guys are Matt and Todd, and I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves individually now.
Matthew McKinney.
Todd Dean.
And my first question, you guys kind of seem almost grassroots like we did. Oh, yeah. Kind of came up in the same structure as Average Joe's and doing almost identical as we do. Every time you say something, I was like, man, it sounds like us. It sounds like us. That way. But yeah, talk to us, man, about what gave you guys the idea to do this and kind of jump-started you.
About 6 years ago?
Yeah, honestly, it kind of started like that.
Just goofing off, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did it at the house, and I actually set up my phone to do a YouTube spot. So, well, yeah, it's easy. You just go in there and hit record. Mm-hmm. We'll put it on, and my cat will jump up on the table. And it was funny. It was good. So we kind of always wanted to keep that humor in the show a little bit. And we've known each other forever. He's a few years ahead of me in high school, but we've known each other our whole lives. His mom and dad was actually my principal at Cedar Bluff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Mine too.
Yes, that was pretty rough. That's a bad situation.
You get it at home and
at school too.
Yeah. So we just did YouTube and I mean we talked football, and there's our other friends would come on the weekends and hang out. We're watching ball. It just kind of.
I sent it to somebody, but they never responded.
Yeah. Oh, so, yeah. We had something in Georgia. A guy was doing a news radio station, and he was like, "Well, they didn't want to cover."
Well, the guy didn't want to cover any college ball. Right?
He didn't want to do college. Like, that's what we want to do. That was the college thing. And I thought, where we're at in town, and my son at the time was like, 12 or so. So he's getting into football at that age, and I'm coaching Pee Wee. And you start meeting people and coaching, and he's been around his whole life, and he's played at Cedar Bluff, and he's coached over in Georgia for years at Cedar Bluff, Center, Douglas.
Yeah, all over. Right.
He's been everywhere. So
looks bad, but
it just kind of grew, and it's hard to say how. We just kind of kept rolling with what we were doing, and like I told you, we talked earlier. We did a bowl pick'em on Christmas, so hey, we'll just get out there and play.
This is Christmas last year.
Mm-hmm. Right. We just said, we'll pick bowl games, see what happens. So here's SEC, and here's what the Big Ten usually does. Here's the win-losses on that, and here's who we like in the games. And we'll come back after, and we'll talk about who won or lost.
How'd y'all do?
We did pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. This was just on internet radio, though.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Local guy.
Yeah. So
we went to school with.
We just kind of kept doing it, and I knew at some point I told him, remember we'd talk about it for about a month, said, hey, then we're going to have to go live at some time because we're going to be at the games Friday, and then we're going to talk about the game Saturday. We can't record Saturday and play Sunday, play the show. So I just put my phone up, and my wife actually went to Walmart and bought me one of those little tripods with a light on it.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll give him full credit for that. That was his idea. I actually didn't want to.
Yeah, he was a little skittish with a light.
Skittish about that.
And I'm a ham. I'm a big show guy. I don't care. I'm going to break that in front of my grandmother's restaurant when I was a kid. I'm
nice.
I don't care.
I wish we had footage of that.
That would be great. This goofy kid with the glasses, with the 80s glasses, the big brown ones, and the buck teeth, and the stupid plaid shirt.
Our views have tripled.
Yeah, and we're average about 400 or so a week.
About 400.
That's good, man.
And the area and what we do, it's always about for the kids. And Cedar Bluff is a small town that don't get a whole lot of light. Over there at Galesville, Spring Garden, you had some of their guys on. I watched that show. Coach Howard, he was a big draw for our show. He's fun. He's great. He coached and taught at Cedar Bluff my sophomore year. So we know Coach Howard really well. And he talked about a lot of old stuff and players that he coached at Cedar Bluff. And
they've got a good team, too.
He would stay on and talk for hours, man. Coach Howard loves football, basketball. He coached basketball at Cedar Bluff.
Those are really good guys.
I think it was 2 hours, 15 minutes that night.
Yes. He'll stay on and talk with you. So we just kind of went from there. I mean, we did the YouTube thing and just kind of kept piddling with it and pray about it and where God leads you and to do. And if one kid hears, the Word of God somewhere in one little part of the show, and just make a kid curious.
That's something that's a lost. Oh man, you better believe that's something that's a lost art form now. And even and I'm not taking a shot at them. It's just facts. It's fact. Even in local newspapers and stuff, you can't say God or whatever.
Say Jesus.
Yeah, but say on our show, I actually promote it. So I want go out and say something to start the conversation, but once that can of worms is open, I'm
Right.
like, hey, we actually love it. So yeah, you guys go ahead because it is a big part of everybody's lives.
Yeah.
But like when you guys started your YouTube channel and Facebook Live and your page, how long have y'all had you guys like a Facebook page and that up?
We probably went about
Social
6-8 weeks.
February.
Probably
Yeah.
February. Right.
Yeah,
COVID
because
hit
I
right
think
after.
Okay.
we did a 24/7 from Josh Pape, his show. I watched him a lot, kept up with him before he was even on the 24/7 team. I love the college recruiting. That's my thing. I like to dig in that. And I love digging in high school stuff and seeing where the kids are going. And we did a big bust on breakout on Tank Bigsby when he was
He's
coming
doing
in.
pretty good, isn't he?
And Pickens from over down here at Hoover and going to Georgia. So, that show was a podcast because I went back and found it.
Right,
So
right.
that was Valentine's Day. So we went live right after.
And then the COVID hit.
Then COVID came. We were literally doing the
It's been
show.
fun,
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
We
playing
went on
every
it.
day.
It's been
And we went on during that when that was happening. We go off, and Ethan Boyd he's our Braves guy. He does all our baseball. He was there at the house. He said, "There's something going on, man." And I think it was CP3. I could see him mouthing on TV. He said, "What's going on?" And we turned it on. They left, and I went right back on live and said, "Guys, there's something going on. I'm on my iPad right now. They're clearing the arena."
Yeah.
And he already had he's a big time NCAA basketball. He does a lot of that stuff. So he was fixing to do his bracket,
Oh, yeah.
and it all got shut down. So
That day, Wednesday and Thursday.
It's definitely changed everything.
Oh, it did.
probably 7 or 8 months we've been hitting live on Facebook.
It made it tough, though, didn't it?
Oh man, yeah. What are you talking about?
February, March, April.
We were
May.
doing like greatest teams ever. We were doing who was the best running backs at Auburn? Who was the greatest
Yeah.
We were
quarterbacks at
doing like
Georgia?
Mount Rushmore challenges and
Yes.
positions. and
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely.
We were finding old games
Yes,
on YouTube
absolutely.
just to keep people engaged. Because
Exactly.
it's like, if we don't post anything, we're going to lose our audience,
I know, yeah, that's what I mean. We're just trying to start this
No,
live
I know.
account, man. How many times can I post USC in Texas with Vince Young all in the end zone? That's the greatest college ball game ever. How many times
Yeah,
can
we
we
did
post that?
greatest moments, running backs of the 80s,
90s.
90s.
We did basketball. We tried to do.
So you guys dabble in pro and college and high school?
Oh.
We don't fool with pro much.
Not a whole lot.
Just after colleges, maybe deep playoffs. I don't even know if we've mentioned pro this year, have we?
A little. We'll
A
do
little.
because we come on Sunday night Facebook at 6. So Monday night football was okay. The Saints and Chargers playing tomorrow. We like the Saints there. Drew Brees is playing pretty good. Something like that. But then we just kind of go through. We're
Super Bowl.
We'll try to do a lot of
obviously.
both.
Super Bowl, yeah.
We try to give our Cedar Bluff and Spring Garden Gales. They're probably a lot of the show. Our brackets and our playoffs are coming. We did a lot of that. And but
Obviously,
college,
we go over the college.
The people who's like trying to find you guys, how's the easiest way to find you on like Facebook? Do you guys do Twitter yet or no?
no, I got a Twitter. I've shared it a few times, but it's really hard to get in on that. I have a Instagram that my wife set up, and that's kind of weird. I've had some videos load on Instagram.
I've recently been battling Instagram on our page. It kicks me off and I can't go link the two no more.
Yes, I
Something
know.
weird's happened. Reggie handles all of our Twitter.
We can't Twitter. Me and Mo can.
Yeah.
I don't. It's,
I don't have the patience. But that's where all the kids do it. I mean, like all the
right,
athletes.
yes, right,
do.
yeah.
But the people looking for you, they look up Matt and Todd on Facebook.
The Matt and Todd
Matt and
show.
Todd show.
Matt and
Go
Todd
to
show.
Facebook, get the search.
Yeah, so all you average Joe's folks, go out and find Matt and Todd.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
We
Absolutely.
like linking up with guys like you that's positive minded guys that are in it for the right reasons and doing, I mean, this is called what it is. You're doing something that's needed. We're living in an age now, and you and I talked about this
Yeah,
earlier.
it's changing.
You used to wake up on Saturday mornings when you used to bust your butt all summer and lift weights and sweat and grind to go play football that fall and get out there and bust your butt in that game and get beat up just to see your name in black and white.
Oh, I know.
made 2 tackles.
Yeah.
Well, I missed going to get the paper. I mean, I remember 10 years ago to go get the Gadsden Times was pretty exciting.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now,
It's another world.
I know,
But
they're not even in there.
You
It's not even
guys
in there on
are.
Saturday.
They're not in there on Saturday no more. So you guys are doing a lot of good things, and man, I can't thank you enough, and we definitely want to get our followers to check you guys out. And
Well, I
we
appreciate
love
it.
networking, man, because
Yeah, we do.
where you guys are kind of like on the fringe where we're not, so we always like to cross market and help each other out.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
Definitely.
And these guys are going to sit in tonight with us and probably be in here when we do some of these interviews. So that's going to be good for
Yeah, we
everybody
appreciate
involved. You
it.
get to meet a lot of
Yeah,
people.
well, it's great to meet all you guys, and what y'all have here is just a great setup, and I know everybody starts somewhere, and we appreciate y'all for, you know, reaching out and just giving us a shot to come down here,
Yeah,
you know, and talk about our show and kind of how we started. And we watch your show, and I've been watching for a
I'm
while.
watching y'all's too.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
I enjoy the coaches stuff, those breakfasts with Benefield and stuff.
Yeah.
I like that, man. And
Yeah.
Paul's so
They're gonna win
modest.
it again.
I don't know.
Oh,
man.
you
That's
really
gonna be-
can't say, can you?
No, hey, I tell you what, we got to look at we got to look at this the other day, and
I
honestly,
think they are.
well,
I can say that, can I?
you can if you want
Oh,
to,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's your show. He can't
Oh,
say
yeah.
what you can.
Yeah, you can say whatever you like, but I got to looking at the other day. In order for them to win, honestly, you got to think about this.
I saw
They
it.
have to beat Ohatchee. They have to beat Ohatchee. No, wait. They would have to beat Welborn or Piedmont, whoever loses. Ohatchee at Ohatchee, and then Piedmont, just to go, and then whoever's out of the South,
And whoever's
and
out of
obviously
the
their
South.
first round opponent.
Tough.
You can play
We just-
three of the
we've
top
been-
5 teams in the state.
We've been
Oh,
following
yeah.
them for so long. You know, Coach Benefield and Five program. You go up there like that playoff game. Who did they play that night? It was 21-0.5.
The
Daniel
fan.
Brent went.
You're talking about Booby Whitlow was their
Right.
quarterback.
Oh,
Yes.
Booby Whitlow
We
quit.
were down there, and
Did
it was
he?
just
He walked off the field
Yeah.
at halftime.
yeah, we were there,
They
and
were
it's
hitting
like,
so hard.
how does he get? I mean, it's just and it's just amazing. We're just Coach Benefield just.
I know y'all got other things to do, but what happened to Booby?
That night?
No, now. He
Oh,
played-
yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, we ain't heard nothing.
Yeah, I haven't heard nothing from
I got
him.
friends
Did he
that are
transfer or
graduates
what?
at Auburn. Yeah, he did. He did.
Where did he go?
transfer?
Yes, he
I'm
did.
not sure where he went.
I mean, I
Figured
got,
he transferred because of
I know what
time.
happened to him that night with 5. He didn't come back out for the second half.
Yeah, he seemed pretty frustrated that night.
everybody gets frustrated with him, man.
Yeah.
They run such a tight program, man.
No, man,
We've been
they're
following
awesome.
them
We'll have a
all
good
the
story to tell you off the camera. I can't figure
Yeah.
the camera's rolling.
He went to Western Illinois.
Did he do anything?
It just says he enrolled at Western Illinois and will join the football team for the spring 2021 season.
He's good. And he rushed for 100 yards against Alabama.
He's good.
They're
Yeah,
D1
no
AA, so
No doubt. He'll probably do pretty good over there.
Now, one of y'all's local teams here, Coosa Christian, is coming to Cedar Bluff Friday in our
Yeah.
homecoming. So we're gonna play Coosa Christian.
You can get to ask him some questions here in a minute.
Welcome, Mr. Dale.
Yeah, Evan Dale.
Yeah.
I don't know if he will be here, but I know there's some players coming.
Yeah,
Some of their
I
guys.
talked to Coach O'Brien earlier today.
yeah, that's a tough group.
He starts 6 8th graders and 1 7th grader on their bus.
Wow. Gonna be good.
Amazing. Yeah.
We're going to shut this segment down, guys. Please sit in with us, and I'm going to go grab some guys, and we're about to get the show rolling.
All right.
Great.
Thank you guys so much, and on to our next.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we have the Coosa Christian Conquerors. Say that 5 times fast. In the house once again. It's been a great relationship so far since we've got these guys in. We've had an outstanding time each and every week. Coach, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, and then everybody starting from our left to right.
I'm Coach Ryan Bostic. Got here Gabriel Southern, Elijah Cole, Evan Delp, Isaiah Cole, and Cadden Moore.
You gotta check and see who it is.
Yeah.
Do they call you
Yeah, he was hiding.
Boom Boston?
What's that?
They call you Boom Boston.
Boston?
No.
Come on, man.
Coach O wouldn't let that happen.
Whatever, man. I think they do.
That's why. That's one of the
What young are you, coach? Because I thought you were one of the players.
Hey, 27.
Oh, okay.
27 years old.
Yes, sir.
On the staff of the Navy SEAL already. Talk
Toe
about
tag,
Coach O'Brien,
toe tag,
man.
man. That's a great guy, man. Great mentor. He's put us in some positions to help us succeed later on in life. Appreciate
That goes for
everything.
coaching and players.
Yes, sir.
What's he meant for you? We'll start, go down the line. Coach O'Brien so far.
He's done a lot. Just hope he grows as a player and a person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great guy. He makes sure you're a good player, but he also makes sure we're good kids too.
Yeah, I mean, exactly like they said. I mean, we have a no cursing policy. I mean, he just doesn't let that kind of stuff fly. He genuinely wants us to grow up to be good kids, you know, set a great example. So,
Yeah, because especially job school, you got kids on your team, not just in your school, but on your team, 7th grade, younger, I'm like, they look up to y'all like y'all are like Superman to some of these guys. Same question,
He teaches us not to quit and do everything he can to be the best he can.
No doubt.
He checks on us throughout the day, at school. We'll see him walking through. He always checks on us. He's a good coach. And probably the toughest coach I've ever had, personally.
Now, y'all were saying that his training camps was real easy this past season, wasn't it? Well, who was it that said that?
Evan said it was a cakewalk.
Y'all can get to know the next year guys.
Now, Coach, talk about, I mean, you obviously played football and stuff and been around football your whole life, but talk about, you know, the one thing that we know about these kids, they don't quit. I mean, no matter what. And talk about his training camp some and how tough it is to play for Coosa right now.
This year we only got 2 days in. I think it's usually a week. But these guys, I tell you, that was probably the toughest 2 days that y'all probably had. It's a tough camp, but they came out strong.
But I mean, even his fall camp, his practices in general are.
Practices are intense. We pretty much run like a college practice, pretty
No
much,
doubt.
these guys.
Well, yeah, this Friday coming up, you're going to visit play Cedar Bluff, and we're from kind of that area. We do the show down there. Tell us a little bit about what you're expecting, maybe from Cedar Bluff and traveling down that way.
Big and physical. It's gonna be we gotta come with our A game. They're gonna come with theirs. See how it come out.
Right.
Evan, same question to you. What have you seen from them?
I played them for 4 years now, so I know their style of play. They're gonna try to hit you in the mouth. They're big and they're physical, and they do not care how big you are or what color you are. They're just trained to hit you in the mouth, man. And you're gonna see a lot of those teams, and I mean, you just have to man up and ask yourself what kind of man you are, you know.
No doubt.
Coach got fired up.
I think Cedar Bluff, I don't know if this guy graduated, but they have a receiver. He likes to talk a lot on the field.
Sleek, hombre.
Yeah, he's my guy.
Yeah.
Is he still?
Oh, yeah, he talks so much. I mean, I'm on
It's
the
not
other
like
side.
trash talk.
No, it's
I
not.
don't even
Look,
He'll have a conversation with you on the field.
He's gonna talk.
Yeah. We were on the sidelines last year, and he was talking to Bo and I, just like, you know,
Yes.
Like
just
nothing.
casual
During the
conversation.
game, he's talking during the game, and we were playing, and I'm like, I mean, he was in my church class, and noticed he was a little boy. I'm like, hombre, the game.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I got you, Coach Matt, you're right. You know, he was getting tackled on the sideline, and 2 guys wiped him out. I think we were playing 5. That was last year.
That was the game we were at.
Okay,
He was talking to Benefield, too.
there was 2 guys laying on him. He said, "Get off him, man! You're in my beautiful black skin, man." Y'all right.
My type of guy there.
I say the refs like him too, right?
Yeah, the refs did like him.
Yeah, they like him.
And he was talking to Bo and I about not getting the ball. He was like, they just won't throw me the ball.
He always said
He
that.
told Benefield, he said, you might as well send that guy in there. They're not going to throw it to me. Benefield finally said, you
He's
think I
number
should
2.
send him down there? And he's like, yeah, go ahead, Coach.
Yeah,
Thank
number
you."
2 this year. Y'all have fun with him. He's a good kid. His little
Yeah.
brother Bucky is number 6, and he's like he's a 10th grader. He's really good too. He'll be out there. You'll see he's a little guy running around out there, and they're good kids.
Yeah.
I love them.
I'm going to start over here. Let's talk about the importance of you guys finishing the season strong and what you got to do to make that happen.
You gotta not quit and play physical. You got tough team like Cedar Bluff, and then we have Wattsburg. So just gotta finish strong and play physical.
Yeah, we just gotta play big and finish out the season.
No doubt. Coach, same question to you.
Gotta play big, man. We're gonna try to get these seniors 2 more wins before they end their career. So we're gonna play big.
Yeah, and Evan, you senior. No? Yeah, you are.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Talk about it, man. What's that like? Do you ever think this day's would come? Like, you wrapping up your senior year?
Not really. I mean, it's kind of been a weird year. I mean, with all this COVID stuff going on. But with final 2 games, I mean, it would be easy to say, you know, it is what it is. However, the outcome comes out, you know. But we still got to finish strong, and we still got to fight to try to give us a chance to set our legacy for everyone else.
Foundation.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. We're leaving a lot for the upcoming 9th graders, upcoming 8th graders, because we're not going to be here, so they're going to have to step up to what we're playing, set the standard.
No doubt.
Yeah, we just gotta go in the last 2 games like we have every other game, even though the outcomes haven't been as we planned originally. But we just go in with the mindset of making them quit every game.
Y'all battle in every game. It's one of those things. I mean, y'all are so young. That's hard to overcome. Yeah. Starting 6th, 8th graders and 7th grade.
Looking back on it, this will be the season I think everybody says the foundation was set.
Yeah, no doubt.
Setting the standard.
Yeah, I mean, because now you'll have coach in place, and then you got his off season, and then you got his weight room for another year, and I mean, you're losing some guys. Don't get me wrong, but they've also taught these guys underneath them, to grow and be better guys and more physical, and I think that's what we're going to see moving forward with Coosa.
I agree. I'm very excited about the future of Coosa Christian, and I was thrilled to come out there and visit with you guys. I enjoy coming over there. I know I haven't been over there much because we film just about every day during the week, but I mean, I love coming over there. I love talking to you guys, Coach O'Brien, Dax, and everybody. Coach O'Brien has given us an open door policy at Coosa, and I'm just looking forward to the future with you guys, and Average Joe's going to be there riding the wave with you.
And we appreciate Average Joe's too giving us the opportunity.
Just getting started, my man. No doubt. Guys, Cedar Bluff, my guys, y'all got anything else? Matt and Todd?
Yeah, I hadn't heard a lot about the kids, and you bring up about the COVID and the situation, how it makes you seniors. And my son being a senior on that team, I know what we went through as parents. How hard is it? I know mentally, it's got to be pretty tough, you guys. How have y'all mentally been through the summer dealing with this stuff? I mean, what's it kind of been like?
It was when we first got shut down, it was tough, man. We was trying to set up Zoom meetings and everything else, trying to make sure kids working out at home, which it was hard to do.
Yeah.
But once we were able to get them back, we went full speed, full stride. So,
do you think it's affected the games somewhat? As when y'all been playing, ball through the season, do you see some difference in the games because of you've not been able to get your kids with you to learn? Just basically how to break down a tackle or getting in stances and learning the reads.
I think it affected us because we had kids that were
y'all were young. I mean, yeah.
Young, were just starting to actually like working out.
Yeah.
And when that got shut down, man, their bodies had just started building.
Yeah.
That got shut down, man. It killed a lot of that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, God bless you, man. Y'all keep rocking on, and good things come for y'all, I'm sure.
Appreciate it, man. Sure.
What else? All right, we're going to go on to our next.
Appreciate y'all.
Guys.
Thank you.
All right, our next game bring us into the West End Patriots, coming off a gut-wrenching loss, Southeastern. I seen last week. At this time on the Ronnie Watkins Ford Jarvis Rawls hotline, we have Coach Kyle Davis of the West End Patriots with us. Coach, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good, guys. Like I said, we just, still a little disappointed after last week, but the guys are still practicing hard, and we're trying to finish out this season, with a win and 500. So that's what we're working on.
Coach, this has been a season like no other. 2020 has been a year like no other. Take us back to, when you come out of spring. Well, you didn't have a spring last year, but take us back when the season ended last year and you knew this is going to be the year that I got my dudes in place, I got my everything in place to make a run. And in 2020 just, it did what it does. It just threw a wrench in all your spokes. And at one point this year, you were down to a 22-man roster. Take us through this year in general so far.
Well, it's been a trying one, for sure, for our guys. I mean, I talked to them a little bit today as far as, kind of what's been going on and what we've been dealing with. We've lost over the year, 7 starters. We've lost, we lost our All-State quarterback to an ACL. We've had 4 ACL injuries. Actually had another Friday nights. We've had 4 ACLs. We've had, multiple broke ribs, guys in quarantine, But, the biggest thing I would just love to say about my kids is we got down to 20 guys on the roster. We dressed 20 guys against Sandrock 2 weeks ago, but man, they haven't stopped. They've shown up every week. I've seen, guys that have had to shut down for the season and things like that because they got low on kids, and our kids wanted to just keep fighting, and they came out every week. And we've had 2 just heartbreaking losses the last 2 weeks where we battled our tails off, and we've been definitely outmatched and outmanned, and and they just battle to the bitter end. And I can't, as a coach, be any more proud of that effort that we've seen. It's just, it's been trying, but man, I just keep trying to tell them that it's what football is all about. Football is about, it's not for the faint, man. It's not for the weak. It's for the tough. And it's for the strong. And it teaches us to be men, and then when we get older and our family's struggling or we're struggling at work and they need to, our wife or our kids need to see us come through, we can reach down deep and get up, when we don't feel like going to work that day or pick up that extra shift, that kind of stuff. So I can't be more proud of what they've done, man. Really can't.
You being coached by Larry again, I know you picked up a lot of that from him. All his players, all his coaches who are around the state now that's disciples of him, you all have that kind of mentality. Talk about what Coach again meant to you in your life as you've been coached by him.
Oh man, I mean, I've probably got 5 men, in my life that I can, go to and then see the influence that they had, and count my own father, himself. But Coach Again is definitely one of those guys that's up there. He taught you what the value of hard work was. He taught us what team was about. But most of all, I think that what I learned from him, maybe I didn't really grasp at 18, but I got a whole lot more at 35, and it was just the ability to, teach football as more than just, wins and losses, but as an opportunity to guide young men, and, not just in the X's and O's, but in what, it will offer you as far as, like I was talking about, the ability to work hard, the ability to sacrifice for your family, the ability to, put your fellow man in front of yourself, which is what a team's all about.
Absolutely. And Coach, to close out this season with a win versus Locust Fort, what's that going to take, and have you seen film on them yet?
Yeah, I've seen some film on them. Obviously, Locust Fork's had a rough year too. They had to forfeit a couple of games off of COVID. They picked up a couple of forfeits wins too, and I think they've only played about 6 games this year, going into their 9th game. They've missed a few weeks, but they got talented running back, man. It's really good. Coach Plunkett does a good job. He's got them spread out, all over the field, and he makes you honor 5 receivers by going with empty sets. And defensively, they play a 3-4, which is, it's in the past it's given us a little bit of trouble offensively what we do, and it's very aggressive. He runs a lot of stunts and blitzes out of it. So, we're going to have to play our best game. You were telling earlier, we'll be starting our 10th different group of offensive linemen. We hadn't had the same number of the same 5 offensive linemen all season in any 2 games. So, we'll be back to doing that. But, like I said, again, our kids have been real resilient. And, if we can finish this thing 5-5, we've only had in the last 12 seasons, 2 seasons that have been, winning or non-losing seasons. And so if we can finish this thing out at 5-5 when we were 4-6 last year, it'll show that, some improvement, and we'll just keep getting better and then looking for 2021.
Coach, one last thing. Through all this adversity and all this that you dealt with as a team, how proud are you of these guys?
Oh man, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you can describe it. Not just them, but my coaches too, man. It's just been a grind, and like I said, they battled every day. And what more can you ask for? And you know what? And throughout all of it, through the losing the kids, which is heartbreaking because you see these kids work so hard, and then these injuries come, and through having to deal with the frustration of the COVID and through all that, man, just to get to still be able to go out there and play. A full season, man. These kids get to go out there and compete and play. I don't think they would would give that up for anything. And that's just, again, that's just a testament to them. It's a testament to the kind of kids they are, and 10 years from now, what kind of men they're going to be. So I can't say how proud enough I am of them or the guys that work with me, every day with them.
And during all this, you actually had a coach have a baby during all this, on top of everything else.
Man, we've had it all. And like I said, we're fixing to play our 10th game. So, I've been you got hats that got to be off to everybody involved that's made this thing work, man, for sure.
Coach, we appreciate you as always. Thank you so much, and we're going to let you go enjoy that family. And looking forward to talking to you, brother. There is no off season here at Average Joe's. We'll stay in touch.
All right, folks. Thanks, Reggie. Thanks, Bo. Appreciate it, and thanks for what y'all do, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. On to our next. All right, our next game will bring us into the Fife Red Devils. Coming off a big victory over Geraldine, 51-7. Got to talk to Coach Saturday and at breakfast with Benefield. It was good to get that win, but more importantly, the dedication to his stadium, the Paul Benefield Stadium now
at
Ridgeway Longfield.
Yes.
Very special, very special. Coach and I got to talk about that a little bit Saturday, and it was special times at Fife. And Reggie,
I missed that.
yeah, you was too cool to come hang out.
I was filming the Coach Ali Smith show.
That's true.
Yeah,
We can't be everywhere at all times.
Yeah, but I did text Coach Benefield and send him my well wishes and congratulations. So
yeah, no doubt. And Geraldine, that was going into that game. It was the first time they had everybody healthy.
Yeah.
And they knew they was going to have some trouble. A lot of guys got to play. A lot of guys got to carry the ball. Coach talked about, we're seeing different ball carriers now, which is building depth.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also seeing, more guys emerge, younger guys emerge, which is only going to help, especially as Eli and Ike still out.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically 4 starting positions. But Eli and Ike being out, still getting the job done.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, looks like they haven't slowed down. They're just moving right along, just doing Fife type things.
Yeah, no matter how many people they're missing, they just keep on plugging in and just keep going.
Hence the big red machine.
Yeah.
I think Fife needs to trademark that name.
I got to ask you a question now that you're sitting in with us. And for those who don't know you, go ahead and introduce yourself in the Fife aspect. Yeah, he's not saying I'm on site 5 people.
Not five.
No,
Yes,
I haven't.
not.
I'm Parker Holland. I went to Gadsden City, played 2 years at Southern Miss and 2 years at Jacksonville State. Yeah, I had no clue about Fife. I mean, obviously throughout high school, I've heard a little bit about them, but just sitting in for the past couple weeks, listening to them, it sounds like they're basically a small Alabama. They just reload, replug, and just keep whooping tail every single Friday.
I got a kicking question for you.
Awesome.
So at Fife, Brody Dalton, he's their kicker. He's also their defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
He's also their tight end. He's All-State. He's going to Alabama Mississippi All-Star game.
Wow.
Very talented. He literally is a straight-on kicker. Have you ever tried that?
No, I haven't. There's a.
How difficult would that be?
It's old school people say it's not that hard. You just hit it square. It's supposed to go the right way, but the degree of missing it, if you miss it by a hair, it's going to go wide left or wide right. So no, it's nothing I really tried. I mean, I was a soccer player that ended up going into kicking, so I was straight soccer style, and that's just the way I was. That's the way it is nowadays, really. I mean, all your college kickers are all soccer style. Here's
something that I think Brody does that's unbelievable, and I'm so glad you're on because I want to talk to somebody about this. Is actually kick the football. He plays Ironman football, never comes off the field, but every single time there's a kick, he has to change shoes.
Yeah.
And run out there and do the kick, and then turn around and kick off with it, and then turn around and change it, all before another snap. How difficult would that be when you can't breathe already because you're playing Ironman football?
Well, yeah, I mean, kicking itself is a very difficult. I mean, a very difficult thing mentally,
Right.
And so to have to, I couldn't even imagine having to go from offense to defense to go into the sidelines with a new shoe on, kicking, the PAT and the kickoff, having to cover and then go back out for defense. I mean, that's just a tough task. I mean, hats off to the kid. Like, really, that's a very, very tough thing to do.
Yeah, and he does it very well.
He does it very well. I don't think I've seen him miss a.
Very few.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you'll see him, and and Coach Martin himself even talks about it at Ohatchee. He's like, hey, we struggle because Eli has to play and he's also our kicker. He don't come off the field. And I'm thinking, that's the same thing with Brody. But, Brody's real steady, and that's why having him on, we could talk about that and how difficult that could be because I know you haven't got to go watch Fife yet. I know that's coming.
That's coming.
But what you're going to see is an old school offense like you've never seen before that physically beats you to the ground and they run the ball right at you. Their scoring drive sometimes is a minute and a half, but they're running the football.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're outscoring their opponents, 374 to 54 right
Something
now?
like that.
I mean,
38.
That's,
That is
just
They gave it
insane
54?
at this point.
see what it is.
We're looking.
Doesn't Coach Benfield call it the ugly offense?
He calls it the ugly offense. It's the double wing from the gun.
It's beautiful to watch. Yeah.
I bet.
Beautiful to watch.
I can't wait to go see it. I really can't.
It's
Well,
coming.
so yeah, and the funny part about that is Dalton's a huge part of all that.
Right.
And then in the process, runs over to the sidelines, puts the shoe on, runs back out. What's the number?
374 to 45.
74 to 45.
Yeah, you close. You've done your homework.
But my thing about it is, from a difficult standpoint, you've kind of answered that. And
Yeah, it's a very difficult thing to do. I mean, seriously, no matter what position you're playing, just to have to go mentally aspect and physical aspect of having to switch sides of the field and kick off and kick, it's a very big thing to do.
Sounds like a future one-on-one, possibly.
yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Kicking side.
I don't know if Brody will talk much. So.
Yeah,
He might get him to talk.
He probably could. I think he could.
Yeah, you're talking, talking about.
Brody's not a big talker. I remember the Five Radio Network interviewed him and Eli, and he's like, yeah. He just hands it to Eli. Then ask him another question, he'd go, yeah. He got to get him to talk about kicking, for sure.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
Five. I've only been to one game this year, but I'm coming back around the playoffs, so I have not forgot about you guys. I get some angry text messages about every Friday around 6:30. Where are you at? Why are you not here? I will be back around the playoffs. So
Let's do this.
Yeah.
I like where y'all's heads are at. Guys, we're going to shut this segment down. Appreciate you sitting in with us, and that was huge. So all of you guys in Red Devil Nation know when you see Mr. Dalton, hug his neck,
yeah.
thank him, give him a slack if he missed an extra point every once in a while. He's on the field every snap,
Yes.
and he is an absolute dynamic kicker for what he does.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable at defensive end, and he's unbelievable at tight end.
Yeah.
He's going to UAB on a full ride. The guy's a great football player. Alabama Mississippi All-Star game. Do I need to keep going?
I
can.
We
Three
can.
three championship rings.
Yeah,
Three
working.
championship rings in
Yeah.
one hand.
Yeah.
Well, he's sitting at number 1 right now in 3A.
That's pretty impressive.
So that's, that guy's,
He's 18, has a better resume than I do.
that's awesome. All right, man, we're going to shut this one down and on to our next. All right, we are in with the Glencoe Yellow Jackets, and we're going to let these young men introduce themselves, starting right over here. Name and position.
Tyler Scheinfeld, defensive end.
Joshua Kennedy, left guard.
Caleb Sims, running back.
You play basketball too, don't you?
No, baseball.
Baseball. I know I've seen you somewhere. You said Shanafeld.
Yes, sir.
Are you kin to Tim?
Yes, sir.
Who is it?
That's my daddy.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta talk off camera. Yeah, I know Tim really well. You guys had a tough game last week versus Sachs. Sachs is only 3 losses, was the top 5 teams in the state. They're a very talented team. Take us back to last week and how that game transpired, and any one of you guys can take that.
Well, I mean, we stopped them probably 3-4 times on defense. We just couldn't get our offense running. I mean, I guess that's what happened. I mean, do I have anything?
Yeah, like they always say, it's always one person. If one person messes up, the whole offense messes up.
It's true.
You get what you can get, but without that one person blocking, it's always, you could have a person from the backside come out, tackle you, or you could have one person miss a block straight up the middle, come sack the quarterback, do whatever.
No doubt.
Yeah, and you got to keep the defense off the field too. I mean,
Was the defense on the field a pretty good bit
yeah.
in that game?
Mm-hmm.
Now you guys moving forward has got Pleasant Valley coming up. It's at Pleasant Valley, and that's definitely a winnable game for you guys. What have y'all got to watch film on Pleasant Valley yet?
No, sir.
None. Yeah, they've been struggling of late, so it's actually a pretty winnable game. But anyways, back to the game. So you said what positions you say you played?
Left guard.
Left guard on offense.
Yes.
You play defensive line too, or no?
A little bit.
You're playing Ironman football. I like it. Y'all had a pretty tough season, but I know y'all want to go out with a bang. What do you guys think you got to do to make that happen?
We gotta get people on track and be able to block, so that way, that one person, we need him, which it's always one different person, never the same person, but need everybody to stay on track, block the right person, so we can move the ball and also keep the defense off the field.
100%. Same question to you. What do you think y'all got to do to go out with a bang this season?
Just work harder and stay on our blocks longer and learn the plays.
No doubt.
I think we need to keep people healthy because every week, I mean, we got 2 or 3 people out.
Y'all have been decimated with injuries.
I mean, we've probably had like 10 people out the whole season. Probably I think like 2 people out the beginning of the season, ACL.
Yeah, and Eli.
Yeah.
Right when we interviewed Eli, the next game he tore his ACL.
You know, you can't judge the season based off just wins and losses.
No. Yeah.
You know,
judge it off, did you get better?
Are you getting better every day? Yeah. And I think y'all turned to some corners this year.
No doubt. I mean, you go through some growing pains. I mean, that's part of it. But I mean, you definitely will win the game this week. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys sitting in. You guys are welcome on any time. We're gonna find you some shirts over here in this box of shirts we got. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
On to our next. All right, our next game brings us into the Hokes Bluff Eagles, coming off of a really tough loss to Piedmont last week, 40-7. But you got to get that game behind you because this next game coming up is for all the marbles, 100%. But before we go into that game, I'm gonna let these 2 young men introduce themselves, name and position.
Hunter Burke, fullback, middle linebacker.
Will Clemens, linebacker.
Buddy Ford, 1998.
Not Mr. Hokes Bluff, 1998. Running back.
Yeah, they don't have introductions on average shows. Guys, Buddy was at the game. It was a very tough game last week versus, people don't know this is a rivalry, and I didn't know this until Steve Smith said this on the Steve Smith show, that the actual number of, it was the 62nd time they played.
And it was split pretty even, wasn't it?
No, it was the 61st time they played, and Piedmont went up 1 game. So it's 31-30 all time, Hokes Bluff versus Piedmont. So that was pretty impressive. I didn't know that till Steve Smith
The
said
rivalry
that.
kick back up was actually caused by the Average Joe's messenger between Tar and Buddy.
I kicked it back off.
Yeah, that definitely would. But I mean, we could talk about that game, but I actually want to focus on what's important. Right. And what's really important is this Sachs game. This is, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's the most important game this year by far. There's not even a question. Probably one of the most important games in Hokes Bluff in recent memory, because this one determines whether you go to the playoffs or not. Period. So I'm gonna let each one of you guys talk about the importance of this game and how mentally focused you guys got to be going into this game. We'll start with Hunter.
Well, originally, we've been in the playoffs the past 4, or my whole high school career, we've been to the playoffs all 4 years. So, or if we win this, it'd be all 4 years. So I would love to make it 4 years, but we got to play good ball. Sachs is a good team. Throw the ball well, run the ball well. Got great speed, super athletes. So we got to play. We got to play great to beat these guys.
I agree. Same question, Will.
Yeah, like you said, Bo, it's kind of tough coming off the loss with Piedmont, but the biggest thing is trying to put that one behind us, and really focusing on how important this next game is about week 11 and stuff. But like Burke said, also they're super athletes. I mean, can run and throw it, all of it. So we got to make plays, and it'll be a big game.
There are only 3 losses is to the 3 top 5 teams in the state. Mm-hmm. Buddy, come on now. You've been in these situations before, buddy.
Hey,
under this same coach.
Yeah, you're
and
right. Listen, I can tell you this. All right, I played for Rob. He actually took over in '96, my junior year. And one thing I can say that he's going to have these guys ready. He's going to come in with a plan, and I know you guys will go in focused. But it is this. Literally, you will play this game like it's your last. You better play every play like it's your last, because you're traveling 2 Sachs, so you won't have that home crowd. So you guys got to, especially you 2 guys. You're probably obviously the senior leaders on this team. So I expect you to show up and play ball.
Yes, absolutely.
Y'all got to see any film on them yet?
I've watched a little bit.
We know some formation and stuff today.
Yeah.
So you said they're a passing team, run team?
Well,
They do both, actually.
They do both. They do both pretty well. Athletic. Lot of screens.
Big video speed.
Yeah, they're. I mean, they're very. I'm gonna be honest with you. If they was in some of these other regions, they'd be region champs.
Yeah.
Yes.
In 3
Talking
days.
about playing like your last, cause see, y'all's last regular season game was canceled due to COVID. Sardis canceled their season, so this is make it or break it time.
Yeah.
So, not only does this get you in the playoffs, it could, if you don't win this game, it could be your last one. So we don't want that to happen.
Ready?
One thing about Coach Rob and Hokes Bluff, these type of games is what they live for in Hokes Bluff.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing Coach Rob, he is going to have these guys ready. It reminds me of that North Jackson game a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of Hokes Bluff out. North Jackson is, Witherspoon is blah, blah, blah. Hokes Bluff went up there and took care of business. They played Hokes Bluff football. And so I feel confident that Rob will have them, Coach Rob will have them, definitely have these guys ready to play.
It seems like I remember
That's a great point.
that North
That's a
Jackson
great
game, how it started. It started out with a big hit from, what was that guy's name?
The Terminator.
The Terminator. Oh, this guy right here. Right? So if anybody knows how to set the tone for the game, here he is. And this is another one. We got to set the tone early. That's what I'm expecting to see.
Man, to Reggie's point, there's something about Rob in these games where let me give you an example. This season,
Yeah.
there's not a human being in Etowah County that didn't think Southside was going to go there and trounce them because of the role Southside was on there. And Hokes Bluff struggled a little bit out of the gate, and everybody's like, "Oh man, this is the year Southside's fixing to go in there and go through these guys." And then the next thing you know, Hokes Bluff's on their field in murky conditions in the mud. They throw a little waggle out to Hunter here. He trucks somebody, scores. It's 14-0 Hokes Bluff.
Yeah.
At Southside in a situation where everybody said this is the year they're gonna get beat bad by them.
And speaking on what you just said, there's a chance of rain Friday night.
Oh man,
That's right.
That's it. You're not gonna out Hokes Bluff.
That's right.
That's just not in the. That's Josh deemed that term.
That was born after the North Jackson game.
During.
Would you say that they have sort of a mobile woodshed? Behind the bus, take a little bit of that woodshed.
That's
True
the most
story.
memorable game I've ever been to in my life.
True story. Josh, and I'm not lying, and y'all can attest to this. Josh comes in the press box where me and Reggie was, and he's sitting here doing this. He goes, "My God, you're not going to out Hokes Bluff, Hokes Bluff." And me and Reggie's on the air dying laughing.
Yeah.
We're on the air laughing because what he just said. And he was freezing, bro.
Man, I was so fired up.
Was y'all about to come out of that press box on the kickoff?
Oh,
with the
my
hit?
God.
There was one point I think I was going to jump out the window.
Is there any way you could possibly put that hit on this little clip?
Hey,
We don't want people to forget about it.
quick story about that. What made that so unique? Reggie and I didn't know we were going to be announcing that game on the radio until like Tuesday of that week.
Yeah.
And we got invited to do it. And they wouldn't let us in the other press box that had water in it and no power. And then they put us in this press box with the North Jackson announcer. And on my daughter's life, the North Jackson announcer was as close to me as Hunter is. We were touching shoulders announcing the game for two different teams. So when Will hit that mug, you can imagine what that looked like in that press box.
Yeah.
Oh, and that dude's over here going, because it's the first play of the game. He's probably thinking it's going to be a long
Because my view on that side of the field was kind of cut off some, so I was literally hanging out the window. I was like just like this looking, and I was like, wow.
I'm gonna tell you this. The people selling tickets at the front gate, the fans, the coaches, the players, everybody there, but they were not expecting what they were getting.
No, they
had no idea what was coming.
They was already ready to go the next round.
And that's
why you don't count these dudes out.
Right.
You don't
They're
count them
ready
out.
to play ball.
Let me ask you this: with Buddy Anderson, with this being his final year, will Coach Rob be this
longest tenured?
Yeah.
That's something I can research and find out.
No, Benefield.
He's been coaching since 93 or 4.
92. No, not year
Not
wise.
at one school.
Oh.
At one school, yeah.
Okay.
See, Benefield was at, I got there at 97 at 5.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he may be.
He might be. I'll look into that.
He may be, because I don't know nobody else that would, unless it's something like 1A somewhere that we don't know about, that, just kind of.
Sweetwater guy.
Sweetwater guy. He's at Clark County now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Ah.
So
They come and visited Benefield a few weeks ago.
I'm
Very
on
good
the
team. Yeah, real good game. You guys have anything else?
21-0.
Well, there's a reason why Josh is acting like that. We'll explain that in a minute. Guys, what's it mean to you, man? Come on, talk to me.
Well,
Chance it could be your last game.
Yeah, this is by far, this could be our last game. I mean, really win or lose. We win and we even do make it to the playoffs, you know. COVID hits our school. We still not have another one. I mean, nothing's guaranteed no more. And, you know, that's why you got to play it like it's your last. I would love to win this one, like I said. We're probably not going to have a senior night as far as the game goes because Sardis had to cancel their season due to COVID. But
so y'all senior night was scheduled for
soccer. Wow. So this game here is.
This is y'all senior night.
This is it. This is
y'all
senior night.
Okay.
That's somebody else's place. Yeah.
Like I said, take the mobile shed. What do you think?
Same question you will.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. It really hadn't hit me yet. I don't think about the.
I'm sorry we're bringing it down on you like this.
When it's over, you know. But kind of like Bert said, I don't want it to be the last. I feel like we have a really good chance in the playoffs. You know, just never count us out in the playoffs, especially. But yeah, I'd like to see us win versus Sacks. It'd be a big game.
Yeah, huge game.
You guys take care of business. We know you can. You got the right coach, right mentality. Win, lose, or draw, this game you guys are winners and have been since your whole career there. Y'all seen the highest of highs, you know? I mean, y'all seen it all. Y'all played with great players. Y'all are great players. Y'all represented the town of Hokes Bluff tremendously well. Mm-hmm. Come on here and like we get taught, I do. I don't know, I'm sure Buddy does too. But I get told all the time, those Hokes Bluff kids, they've got a lot of class and they've always been real respectful in here and I hear that everywhere we go.
Mm-hmm. That's a big deal, guys.
That is a huge
deal. Other players and coaches and fans to say that about you.
Especially fans
that's a lot about your character.
Sure.
That's a big deal.
I think that's it, fellas. Good luck. We didn't want to bring it down on y'all like this. And Will's going, hang on, it's a long ride home.
No pressure.
Yes.
He's on his feelings now.
I'll pick him up right now. I'll be on the sidelines. I'll pick you up. We'll be good.
Yeah. Hey, Andy Austin, will he be there? Does
He'll
he
be
travel?
there. Yeah, he travels. Yeah.
Oh, man. You don't get fired up playing for Andy Austin. Yeah. You got no blood in your veins, baby. All right, we're going to shut this one down. On to the next. All right, our next game is we have in the Ohatchee Indians. We had a great time with Coach Martin on his deck this last Sunday morning, actually, wasn't it, Josh? Please?
Yeah, we changed Sundays.
That's right. But before we get started and dive into last week and the upcoming game, we're going to let these young men introduce themselves, starting right here.
I'm Zach Haynes. Eli Ennis. Trey Pesno.
Now tell me what positions each one of you guys play.
I play left guard. Quarterback. Wingback.
Eli's being modest. He's a linebacker too. Trey is everywhere. Now we've seen his film. You hear his name a lot, and Josh talked about that. He's like, we got to get that dude on. He is everywhere. What was that Stoner said about that quarterback from North Stand Mountain? He's everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. That's him.
I used to call him number 6. Dude, he's everywhere.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Guys, last week you beat Pleasant Valley 39-8, and Coach Martin said he got a lot of guys in to play. Take us back to last week. Each one of you guys can answer that, starting right here. It's a game in general.
Well, it was a tough game at the beginning, but we just gave every team everything we have. Pulled through at the end.
Eli, same question.
Well, we knew that they weren't going to be the best team we played, and we knew that we probably weren't going to be in past the second half. So it was like just at practice, just not getting lazy because we're not going to be able to play much, and just make sure we do everything right.
Same question.
We just came out, played our best, and did what we could to win.
Coach talks about all the time, pretty much what Eli just said, kind of echoing what Coach says, which is the only thing you're doing this week is this game, no matter who it is. It's like a faceless opponent to execute and do your best job each and every single play. And I think it's huge because, I mean, you guys, after that Piedmont win, if ever there's a time to take a step back and think, we've arrived, but they didn't do that. I mean, they've kept hammering down ever since then. Josh, you, I mean, you guys, I mean, you guys have played, 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 I mean, you guys have played been around the program pretty good bit. Talk about this team, why it looks a little bit different than previous couple teams.
This team has a short memory, and I say that because, after the Auburn game, the next week it was out of their mind, and like we talked about on Wednesday Martin, after the Piedmont game, it was setting up to be a trap game the next week, and they come out and play phenomenal again, and it's just a faceless opponent week in and week out.
Absolutely. What's it like then? You said you played on the line now. What's it like blocking for this gentleman to your right here?
It's good blocking for him when you finish your block and you see him run down the field. 50-yard touchdown feels great.
A play that really takes me back, I think it's a play of the game. I know everybody argues with me and say Aiden's interception was, and that was huge. But the 3rd down and 27, where he broke, was it 8 tackles against Piedmont, and went 25 yards and made it a 4th and 2, and then ultimately went and got that. But now you guys are blocking your tail off, and I've seen several of you guys finish your block, release, and go down there and find somebody else. Talk about that offensive line, man. How you guys are relentless and don't give up until the whistle.
Yeah, we don't stop until we hear the whistle.
There ain't no doubt about that.
Yeah, we're mean aggressive offensive line.
Well, Zach don't stop.
Yeah.
Final whistle.
The echo of the whistle.
Third
whistle.
Third whistle. I was like, man, this guy, it's like on Friday Night Lights with that running back. And he was like, my gosh, let me go sit down. But
this is the dude you said about.
He's fired up.
Oh, I love it.
The whole game.
I love it.
He's talking trash on the sidelines.
I love it. Trey, talk about your versatility, man, because Josh has been talking about you for 2 years now. He said that dude is everywhere. You're all over the place, man.
Yeah. I just do what I'm coached to do and do my job and do what's best to help the team win.
And you play wingback?
Yes, sir.
And you do get some touches too then, I'm sure. So he plays, which would be Malachi's position on the 5-soft. Okay.
Yeah, wingback's very important.
Very important in that position, yeah. Now, Mr. Enos, we've recently come out, which has not been released yet, but by the time this video is released, it'll be released. You're 1 seed in our hair tournament, man. How does that make you feel for the very first day ever?
It feels great because who would have thought? I wouldn't have thought that I was going to be
whatever, man.
In the top 4.
Come on, dude. You got to be.
I thought so a little bit, but I didn't think I was going to be like.
The picture you got is Matt and Todd. We've got Matt and Todd in with us, by the way. You got to see the picture of the locker room.
Yeah.
Have you seen that picture yet?
The one you showed me a while ago.
Oh, no.
When he gets that pick out, starts.
Yeah, he actually picked it out one day.
They said, who was it? They said it looked like the guy from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, they look like Scooby-Doo when he was dressed up in that dancing club, if y'all seen it. Now, I recently sat in, I don't know if you guys have seen this, with you guys cheerleaders last Friday, and did interviews with all of them, and I asked them specifically, I was like, and you guys, it's at 23 minute 30-second mark exactly is when it starts. I said, now honestly, none of you ladies really think y'all have better hair than Aiden Simpson or Eli, do you? And they all like, whatever, dude. They got split ends. And then one of them said, one of the girls said, Eli, when he takes his helmet off and it blows up, she said, when the wind blows, you can see his hair go. And I'm like, man, this dude's a 1 seed if he's ever been a 1 seed in the hair tournament. Anybody else got anything? Moving forward, I know you guys got Weaver and they've been on down times, but they're going to play you guys. And last week they gave up 69 points in the first half.
Well, 63 in the first half.
Yeah, it's 50-something of that in the first quarter. Yeah. But I mean, faceless opponent, man. Y'all got to do what you got to do regardless. But guys, we're going to shut this one down and move forward. I appreciate you guys coming in. Make sure if you ain't got a shirt, get a shirt before you get out of here. And thank you guys so much. On to our next. Alrighty. Our next game brings us into the Piedmont Bulldogs versus Walter Welber. This upcoming game. Piedmont's coming off a huge win over Hokes Bluff, 40-7 in a rivalry in which Piedmont took the lead in the series by 1 game in a rivalry that had been dormant for a while. Big win. both communities, a lot of pride on each side. That was a huge win. Just like Steve Smith said on his show, both communities wanted to win that game. A lot of people know the rivalry from years back and what it meant. And to revisit that rivalry, buddy, you were at the game. How awesome was that? It's kind of strange to see them two on the same field again.
Well, it's been a minute. They were always back in the late '90s. It was a big rival game for us. Yeah, it was, but it's been a minute since they've played. Some of these guys that were playing now, like Coach Smith said, they don't realize how big of a game it was for the communities themselves. So, but you know what? Piedmont showed up and they showed out, man. Showed up early. Man, Jack Hayes is something special to watch.
He's the real deal, ain't he?
He's the real deal.
He's the current what?
Oh man,
Average Joe's.
He's the current Average Joe's Player of the Week. So and well deserved too, by the way. Jack played a great game. They did as a whole. They just did what Piedmont does well. They played good football. Very few penalties, if any, that I remember. It's just they're well coached. They are
very good coach.
Good group of guys.
Now this game, surprise, is on the hill at Walter Weldon. Surprise, in the forecast, it's raining once again. So
That's right. It was raining last year too.
It was a
wasn't
monsoon.
That's right.
This one right here is going. You want to talk about whatever Rocky and Apollo, whoever Achilles and Hector. This is two guys, two teams that know each other. That was in the semis against each other last year. That split the games against each other last year. Two coaches that like, respect, and friends. Jeff Smith, Steve Smith, not related, but very good friends. What a football game Friday night, and this game could come down to a field goal very well. This could be a special teams game. And with that being said, I'm about to plug this gentleman beside me. Let the people from Piedmont know who you are.
My name's Parker Holland. I went to Gadsden City. I was a kicker there. Played 2 years at Southern Miss and 2 years at Jacksonville State.
So when you look at a game like this where there could be wet conditions, and this physically could come down to a kick.
Right.
Honestly. Talk about mindsets in wet conditions and leading up to games where you know it's going to be raining, kicking the ball.
Well, as a kicker, it's your worst nightmare. I mean, it really is. That is the least ideal situation that you could have. For many people who don't know, the sweet spot on the ball is if you would take the white on the front and wrap it around, you want to hit on top of where the white would be. When it's raining, you have to move your sweet spot up to get more hit on the ball because the ball's going to be more waterlogged. You got to worry about your snap, whether that's going to get off right, your hold, whether your holder's going to be able to get it up on time. You're always worried about slips. It's going to take a wear on your leg throughout the game, especially during kickoffs, PATs, no matter what it is. I mean, you're kicking a ball that's 5 pounds heavier than normal.
Never thought about that.
Yeah,
your flight through the air, you're going to have to drive it more rather than hitting it up. Because the chances of you hitting it up and the wind catching it or just the rain in general is going to throw you off your path. So you're more driving it more towards the field goal rather than just kicking your normal kick. A lot of things go into kicking in the rain than just a nice sunny afternoon.
Yeah.
So it's the least ideal situation for a kicker for sure. And with a game like this, you're going to have to bring your A game, and you're going to have to make sure that your kicks are on point every single time that your foot hits that ball.
That definitely makes sense. And when I look at this game, buddy, and I'm going to let you talk about this, these two defenses are just nasty. They don't give up anything. That's why I wanted to lead with special teams because this is going to be a game of field position, a game of inches, and especially if it's raining. Talk about both of these defenses.
Well, I've seen them both play. So, and I'm telling you, the speed on both teams, unbelievable. These guys can cover. They're both physical, so it's going to be a really good matchup Friday night. I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think you guys just said, it could come down to the kicking game, special teams. Come down to who the least turnovers, least amount of penalties. I mean, this is where one of those games where you need to play as perfect as you can play if you want to win the ball game because they're so evenly matched.
Yeah.
So it's I'm looking. I wish I could be there at this game. I can't. I've got to go watch my nephew and Hokes play, but. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how this game plays out.
I want to see a good clean. I'm actually going to go to this game. I want to see that good high school. I don't care if it's raining. I mean, I welcome it as a fan. A lot of people complain. I'm like, nah, let these guys, these kids love it.
They love it. They love it.
Minus the kickers.
Minus the kickers. But yeah.
Minus the kickers. But man, I just want to see a good, and we will, man. We're going to see a good game. And you talk about stakes and what's on the line between these two teams, man. This is, if Piedmont, and it is through tiebreakers. Piedmont wins this, they go to region champs.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I mean, that's fact through the tiebreakers. And if Piedmont wins this, they go region champs. Wellborn goes to 2, and then Ohatchee goes to 3, and then the winner of Hokes Bluff Sachs goes to 4.
Right.
That's right. So everything is at stake for this game on both sides, on both teams. But we are looking forward to it. Go ahead, Reggie.
This region, I think we talked about this earlier in the season, how this region was going to play out, and I think it's played out the way everybody expected it to. You got 3 teams.
Possible 4-way tie.
Yeah, you're looking at a 3-way tie for first place in the region, and then the third and that 4th spot is up for grabs. And so again, that just speaks volumes on how tough this region is.
All 4 positions coming down to the final, week.
Final week, and I think that's what everybody expected out of
as a football player, this is the game. You're looking forward to this game. This is the games that you play for. This is the games that you look forward to every year. I mean, just what comes on the line, smash mouth Alabama high school football.
Oh, dude.
This is what it's about.
It ain't gonna be no mystery. What this is. It's gonna be physical, pads popping. This is what high school football is all about.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You guys got anything else?
I don't think so.
Looking forward to it Friday. I will be there. I will be ready to see some good football and love to see both of these two teams compete. And it's going to be something special.
Absolutely.
All right, that's it. On to our next.